So starting with a PCR, you have, with a PCR chain, you start with a PCR molecule and a ADP molecule, and that yields ATP and a creatine molecule. So that's your first cycle. The second one is glycolysis. Glycolysis starts with 6 carbons from glucose, which originates from carbs. So it goes from those 6 carbons, runs into hexokinase, the enzyme, which adds a phosphorus to the end, to the 6th carbon. That new chain is G6P. The G6P runs into the second enzyme, which is PG isomerase. PG isomerase pretty much just changes the formation of the molecule chain itself into fructose 6P, or fructose 6 phosphate. So that's the next chain that we have. That the fructose 6 phosphate chain then runs into PFK, which I like to know as fucking with phosphorus. This adds a second phosphorus to the front of the long carbon chain. So to the first carbon, it adds one. So we have a phosphorus connected to the first carbon molecule, and we have a phosphorus connected to the 6th carbon molecule, which equals poop. So this poop molecule then runs into adalase, which is a 4th enzyme. This enzyme breaks the poop molecule into the poop chain into a poo and an oop chain. From there, the poo switches to an oop, and then from there, both of the oops pick up a phosphorus from the environment outside, and then both phosphorus on the, so then we'll have two chains, each one with a phosphorus, 3 carbons, and a phosphorus. So then both of those chains, both the phosphorus will break off, resulting in a total of 4 ATP. 4 ATP resulting, which is only 2 net because it takes 2 ATPs to run the glycolysis cycle. And then it also results in 2 molecules of pyruvate. The 2 molecules of pyruvate then lose a carbon dioxide, which turns it into a 3 carbon chain, or it turns it from a 3 carbon chain to a 2 carbon chain. And this 2 carbon chain is known as, starts with an A, but I forget the exact wording for it. So from there, it goes into the Krebs cycle. So the 2 carbon chains runs into a 4 carbon chain of citric acid. This goes through the Krebs cycle, and then from the outside, and 3 NADs run into the Krebs cycle itself and pull carbons and hydrogen off the chain, which then results in 3 NADHs. There's also an FAD that pulls another hydrogen off the chain and results in a FADH. From there, we get into the electron transport chain. Oh, nope, backtrack. At the bottom of the Krebs cycle, I forgot this part, a GTT comes in and bounces off. This GTT can then also be transferred into an ATP. So that's the 3rd net ATP. Yes. So from there we go to the electron transport chain. The electron transport chain starts inside of the scrunchy part of the mitochondria. So to start the process, one of the NADHs comes up to the first little hump in the chain itself. This hump contains a electron. The electron pulls hydrogens from the NADH and shoots 4 of them up into the inner membrane of the cycle. and then the electron moves over to the second one, shoots 4 more hydrogens up, and moves over again and shoots 2 more hydrogens up. And then the FADH comes into the second hump. It never starts at the first one, it starts at the second one, shoots up 4 hydrogens, and then goes over to the third hump and shoots up 2 more hydrogens. So then these electrons have to be moved out. So oxygen comes in and grabs the electrons, and along with the negative charge, it attracts a positive charge. It attracts a proton, which turns it into H2O. And then you made the comment of this being metabolic water, and metabolic water is 75% of the water in our bodies. And then, so there's that part to keep the chain running smoothly. On the inner membrane, all the hydrogens that have been pulped up to the front get shot down through the other side, or the end of the chain. So for every 4 hydrogens that get pumped down into the little rotating clock thingy, 4 hydrogens push over a inorganic phosphorus into the ADP synthase, and so for every 4 hydrogens, the ADP synthase and the inorganic phosphate turns into 1 ATP. So with everything adding up, there are so for one Krebs cycle creates 3 NADHs and 1 FADH. 1 NADH creates 10 hydrogens, so 10 times 3 is 30. So 30 hydrogens added to the 6 hydrogens from the FADH equals 16. So that's 16 hydrogens, which creates 4 ATPs. So there'll be 8 ATPs created from 1 pass of glycolysis, because glycolysis creates 2 keys for Krebs cycle, which Krebs cycle creates the Krebs cycle creates NADH and FADH. So in total, it turns out to be 8 total ATPs created per one process of 8, 9, 10, 11 total ATPs for one process of glycolysis.